Hey everybody, welcome to the Hockey Skate Down. My name is Joe, and I just wanted to do a video on this whole Aleksander Barkov topic to the Rangers. You know, there's a lot of talk going on as far as yesterday morning, and it's all stemming from a Larry Brooks article that he tweeted out, and someone commented and asked him what it would take for the New York Rangers to get Aleksander Barkov if his becomes available. You know, there's talk about the Florida Panthers trying to create some cap room and trading out some players, but I highly doubt it's going to be Aleksander Barkov. I really do. He's a player that's on the rise. He's still young. He still has a great cap hit for the next 3 years it shows, but after this year it's another two. Barring what happens with the rest of the year. But if they're trying to create cap room and bring in good players to play for the organization, I don't think you start with Aleksander Barkov. I really don't. But, let's just talk about it because, looking at it on the Rangers' perspective, this makes a lot of sense. The Rangers, and I say it all the time, I said it in my previous video too, I think the Rangers are one big move away, and I really think they're kind of building blocks to get that one big move done. And, let's just talk about it. Aleksander Barkov is a 6'3", 210-pound center, 24 years old. This year he had 20 goals, 42 assists, 62 points in 66 games. Last year he had 35 goals, 61 assists, 96 points in 82 games. 27 goals the year before, 51 assists, 78 points in 79 games. In 2016-2017, he had 21 goals, 31 assists, 52 points in 61 games. And in 2015-2016, he had 28 goals, 31 assists, 59 points in 66 games. So that's just his overall stats for the last 5 years. So he's a 5-time 20-goal scorer, he's a 3-time 25-plus goal scorer, and he's a 1-time 30-goal scorer. So, he's got 3 years remaining, like I said, 2 years after this one, at $5.9 million AAV, so he has a very team-friendly contract. So that's why I don't think this kind of makes a lot of sense. But if the Ranger fans and the Rangers want to get him, I would definitely try. I really would. The article, Larry Brooks, when he commented back to that person, said the only off-limits people he sees is Kakko, Fox, Zibanejad, Panarin, and Kreider. And the names he left off that list were Strome, D'Angelo, Buchnevich, and Trouba. And the mention of what's going back and forth in this ridiculous article, the return was mentioned as a first-round pick, a second-round pick, along with a top 3 forward. Now, I think it's going to take a hell of a lot more to get Barkov if it's the Rangers like that. They have to see what they're going to do with Ryan Strome. He's an RFA. They got to see what they're doing with Tony D'Angelo. He's an RFA. The Rangers do have a lot of picks. I'll give them that. They've been stockpiling picks and prospects, and they have a lot of prospects that are going to make the team relatively soon. So, let's talk about their draft picks. They have 2 first-round picks this year. They have no second. And they have 2 thirds to work with if they want to do anything as far as draft picks this year. Next year, they have a first-round pick, a second-round pick, 2 third-round picks, and 2 fourth-round picks. So it's going to take a lot of, would they give up a second-round conditional pick next year that turns into a first because they still have a first-round pick? It's going to take a lot to get him. It really is. He's a star player. Like I said here, Florida would need a huge return to trade, a team-friendly cap hit center who is a Selke contending forward, who can put up, his best years were 96 points and 78 points. So if you're looking at a forward that can produce in that range consistently, he's a great underrated 2-way forward who is considered one of the best defensive forwards. He plays on a negative goal differential team, yet Barkov stays on the positives. The only knock on Barkov is that he's a big body guy, but he doesn't use his frame. But he leads the team in takeaways. So, you wish a player of this size, what is he, 6'3", 210? You wish a player of this size would hit as much as he can. But, he plays the game a different way. He's a great defensive forward. He's a great 2-way player. And, he could score, he could play make, and he could produce points. So, hell yeah, the Rangers, if they would try to get him, I would try to do it in a second. That would slot their 3 top centers as Zibanejad, not in any order, Zibanejad, Barkov, and Hedl. And Hedl would have an increased role on the third line center if Strome is moved out. You know, so it's just very interesting to think about, you know. And then if you move D'Angelo out, if he's one of the names that again moved out, because there's just constant talk about D'Angelo being traded. I don't know why. If you know, the Rangers should try to keep him. They really should. He's having a great year, putting up 53 points this year. And you know, I know some players just have that one year where it's really good and then they may falter back, but you never know with them. So I think this is why there's a lot of talk about him getting traded, because I don't think the Rangers know which route to take as far as where to go with him. Do they want to sign him long term? Do they want to sign him to a bridge? Do they want to move him now that he's hit his, you know, some sort of peak and had a really good year? So it's going to be very interesting to see. That's why this topic kind of it's 95% not going to happen, but it's just interesting to talk about because it makes so much sense for the Rangers to do. You know, if they do lose D'Angelo, they'll still have Stahl for another couple of years, Trouba, Smith, Fox, Lindgren. Then you have Miller, you know, pushing to make the team. You know, he's still got to have a good camp and good everything to, you know, show that he could translate to the pro game. Then you have Hayek and Rykov if they're ready to do it. And then, you know, there's a lot of free agent defensemen they can grab too if they allude to do that. So, you know, the cap as far as signing Strome, signing D'Angelo, and signing, you know, any of the other RFAs or UFAs, you know, when you add all that up, it makes sense if you want to move them to a team that you can get a good player back in return. But as far as Florida, if they're looking to cut costs to get these two guys, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So I personally don't think this trade is going to happen. If Florida is willing to move him for assets, I think they're going to try to get as many prospects as they can, as many good picks and prospects that are like really close to making the team as possible. But I just don't see moving Barkov because he's such a great player. He's hitting his peak right now, and he's such a good dynamic two-way forward that, you know, what are you doing when you're trying to move him? What message are you trying to send to the fans? Are you rebuilding again? Because that's kind of what it gives that impression to, you know, NHL fans. You know, what route you're trying to go. You know, there's other avenues to go to make cap room, so I just don't see this happening. But if the Rangers can pull this off, my God, that would be scary seeing possibly Barkov and Panarin playing with each other. That would just be a scary thought for this team. And, you know, all NHL teams playing them. So see what happens. Is there any other talk that happens regarding this issue? I will do another video on it. If there's nothing that comes out, or if there's slight news that comes out, I will pin it in the comments in this video. But, you know, I just don't see any legs happening with this, but you never know. I'll allude to that infamous phrase, if Gretzky can get traded, anybody can get traded. So, you know, comment below. Let me know what you think. If you've heard this rumor circulating, comment below. Let me know. I know Rangers fans are definitely going to say they would definitely do it, but as far as what they'd give up, it'd probably be a lot. So, I don't know. And Florida fans, if you're new to the channel, comment below. Let me know what you think about this. If you've heard anything about Barkov being mentioned to be rumored, I don't know if there's anything behind the scenes that's happening that, you know, that hasn't been mentioned yet. That could be a possibility. Comment below, let me know. And as always, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Join the hockey team. Have a great night. Have a great day tomorrow, and take it easy.